Hi, it's Laura from Hyperstamper. So if you follow my channel, you've probably seen this one before, and I accidentally deleted this from YouTube when I was trying to edit the video a bit because I did make one little change. So I'm just going to do the whole thing all over again. So this is a very beautiful journal with a French sort of design on the front. We've got the little fleur-de-lis and the crowns with this gorgeous, I'm going to call it argyle pattern that was embossed in gold. And I've added this antique drawer pull, which is a two-piece brass pull. And I just thought it was a really fun handle. Up here, I've put a very old button with some vintage chain, more vintage chain here, and some vintage beads that I turned into a bangle. We've got the great spine there, the original spine and the back cover. So it's a great, great old book. Let's take a little journey onto the inside. I've got some vintage doily that I cut up to make a trim for the front here, and just some vintage trim here as well. And this French book is called The Drums of Olon. And I want to tell you that it's 1927. So it's actually a little older than I originally thought. I made this beautiful little sweetheart pocket here and put in this awesome Niagara Falls postcard. And that is from the 1930s. And it's fantastic. And if you had a magnifying glass, you could look at these cars along here, and they're just so old and wonderful. It's just a terrific little postcard. And this here is just a piece of antique ledger. And you can journal on that or use it in some of your mixed media art. This is from the 1890s, Demarest's Family Magazine, and it's got some lovely pictures here and on the back of these beautiful Victorian women that also you can use just to look at or put it in your art pieces. I did a journaling tag here with some vintage pattern covers, and you can journal on the back of that. Everything in here is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera, except for these tea-dyed pages, which I dyed and hand-stamped and added some fun clusters to. There's a little vintage stamp up there. This is from a 1904 book called Freckles. You can do lots of work on there. And look at this lovely 1930s photograph of this woman here. And that came out of the photo album that I have been using in my collection. And a little full blank canasta score sheet, vintage, from a vintage game, and you can journal on that as well. This is a Pittman shorthand book page that I turned into a pocket with a cluster, and just made this fun little booklet here out of some of my antique book scraps, and the cover is made from a vintage children's how-to book. Another children's book page here, triple pocket here. And I've got a French book page there that I added some antique paper onto the back to make it a little journaling spot. And this 1890s Watchman's clock dial, which is very, very cool, very rare. And there's another ledger page here. And this one would have been an accounting ledger. And I turned this side into a little pocket and put a receipt from the 70s from George Sensabaugh General Store, number 25. That's really cool. And more clusters, another wonderful little children's full color image there from a book. A vintage playing card, which is kind of cool, a different design, and some 1930s Monopoly money. You can collage with that if you like. More Freckles. Oh, I love this. I pulled this from the top of an antique book page. Beloved. I think that's just awesome. And more children's book page images, a book map here of Europe, Napoleon time. So that's from a 1937 history book. And look at this awesome antique spine from the 1800s. I recouped, and it came from the book that this little piece of cover came from. Some vintage lace, antique music paper, vintage sewing paper, and a 1950s Polish embroidery book here with this gorgeous photography of these embroidered flowers in their festive costume. Another history page here, Battle of Waterloo, kind of neato pepito, and a vintage dictionary page. More fun vintage trim there. Here's a floating pocket. On this side I have an 1899 newspaper piece that I mounted on top of a backing so that you could journal on it. And then this is a page from this book there, a blank. It was the first page in the book, so I thought they should live together. So I'll put that there, and another one here, and put that. You can move that around with that nice little paper clip there. Oh, this is always so much fun. It's the 1928, oh, sorry, I'm out of camera, 1928 Billboard magazine page here. Lots of fun ads on there from the days of vaudeville. 1930s almanac, Paris, France almanac page there. And another wonderful plate from a vintage bird book. Look at this one. Aren't they gorgeous? I love how they're all looking to the right. Janvier, which is January 7th, and January 8th, 1938. And a wonderful children's book page here, that nice hard fuzzy cardstock. 1928 Billboard, there's the other side of that one. And a 55 postage stamp collector's book page there. More journaling spots there. Another antique book page here. Another journaling tag here that I made and tucked into his pocket from a vintage doily. Antique gardening book page here. More children's images here. How cute! Little dog story there. We have a lot of dog lovers. I get a lot of requests for dog images in my journals. And in my journals, you can always make special requests for things you'd like me to add. I'm happy to do that at no charge. Look at this. Things girls and boys can make. I love these pipe cleaner dolls. I have a friend who we tease back and forth about pipe cleaner crafts. There we go. I actually sent her a pipe cleaner in the mail, just as a joke. I thought that was fun. A bingo card from 1950s. And what else have we got here? Just more of the same. We've got some, oh, lovely vintage or antique needlepoint that was going to be an upholstered chair cover, but it never quite made it. So I put it in my journal as a belly band. Added some antique paper so you could journal on that. And the last page of the book, the end. So that's on Etsy now. I hope you'll go and take a look, hyperstamper.etsy.com, and I hope you come back and visit me soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.